Hello and welcome to another quick cast on dealershipnews.com. I'm Kelly Kleinman, and today we're speaking with the team over at TAP Classifieds, an automotive vendor that specializes on listing inventory on Craigslist, and frankly, no one does it better. Welcome one and all. We've got Jaideep, Nima, and Andrew. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, guys.
Doing great over here in SoCal. You're in NoCal. We're getting a little bit of rain, but I know it makes you jealous, being dry for the last month from what you were telling me. Guys, Jaideep, Nima, Andrew, why don't you tell me each what you guys do for the company, and then let's get into the interview. Jaideep, what's your role?
Hi, guys. I'm the CEO of TAP Classifieds, manage, I guess, everybody else in the company.
Hi, my name is Nima. I'm the Director of Sales and Partnerships and basically handle all partnerships, business development, and some of the sales side.
And this is Andrew, and I'm involved in the direct dealer sales and managing the direct dealer sales team.
And there you have it, the three musketeers over at TAP Classifieds. How'd you guys get started? Can you fill us in on your full slate of services and what a dealership can expect when they work with you?
Yes, hi, this is Jaideep. So TAP Classifieds started with the vision of automating marketing of any inventory that a company may have. So our initial start actually started with working with a media company, where the media company wanted a platform that would take classified inventory and automatically market that across multiple social media and classified sites. We have grown from that point in time. We really specialize in taking an inventory and doing really smart marketing, creating smart campaigns, and putting that inventory out in front of end users in a way that the dealership's going to get the most number of leads out of it. We work with classified sites like Craigslist, but we also work with a lot of other social media sites like Facebook, 5 Miles, Let Go, and so on.
Absolutely. And we started with the classified platform, but we're really building new and exciting products built for automotive. So Google AdWords, Bing, Yahoo, paid search, dynamic inventory ads on places like Facebook, and even search engine optimization. So we really want to be a technology partner, not just focusing on pre-owned inventory marketing per se.
Yeah, it makes sense to have a full slate of services. You don't want to leave any money on the table because there just so happens to be so much of it. That's at least my take on it. Let me ask you a question. What are the differences that you see in the performance between car dealers who list on, let's say, AutoTrader, Cars.com, or Craigslist? I've from some of the dealers that I've spoken to, they've all said that they get the best results from Craigslist. Can you vouch for that?
Andrew, you want?
He broke up a little bit. I didn't hear the whole question.
Yeah, what are the differences in performance between the car dealers that list, let's say, on AutoTrader, Cars.com, or Craigslist? Which provides the best leads? What's your take on it? What's your experience been?
Well, listen, that question could be debatable if you talk to AutoTrader. But those bigger platform sites, those national listing sites, a lot of times that's an early stage buying site where a consumer's going to go there to get a comparison, check out the make and models and the price listings. Where Craigslist differs is the consumer is there and he is looking for a very specific vehicle because Craigslist doesn't have the most robust search and comparison features. But what it does tell the consumer is the vehicle that I'm looking for available today locally? So that Craigslist consumer, he's a deep market consumer who's looking probably to go test drive today or tomorrow. So that lead is a very short sales cycle lead as opposed to some of the sites you mentioned where they could be still 90 days out.
It's a good answer. Is part of the special sauce in keeping listings visible on Craigslist by constantly reposting them? And if so, does a software program handle all of the work? How do you guys work that out? Let me add to that. Let me add to that really
Go
quick.
ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Real fast.
I was going to say that this is Nima. Craigslist is constantly changing their search algorithm, similar to Google, to basically keep a level playing field. So, people in this space, they used to be able to sort of play games and keep their ads on the top, but the secret is out that their algorithm has changed, where basically the search results page is going to be sorted by whoever posted last. And so you don't have an unfair advantage anymore. And so the way that our company has handled this is we have a smart posting algorithm that looks at market-specific data by make, model, and market, and we know which cars to post at what time of day and what day of the week to get the best results. And all of that is transparent through our reporting suite, and it's constantly working in the background to see what we can do to optimize the performance for each of our dealers and partners.
This is Jaideep. Sorry, quick thing to add to that.
Yeah,
our algorithms that Nima was mentioning, we use machine learning techniques to constantly improve on those algorithms as well. So these are self-learning algorithms that are constantly optimizing to make sure we produce the best results for the dealerships.
To add on to that, the original question, we've done a study that suggests that those that dig into a dealership's listing several pages deep make for better leads because they're more intent on finding exactly what they want. A little bit towards Andrew's point. What are your observations on that? Does it matter if you're at the front of the listings, or is it actually safe to be a little bit deeper because it's a little bit more of a motivated buyer?
Andrew,
you guys want me to on that one? Yeah. So I think there's the question you ask and the view that you hold is a view that a lot of dealers misconceive. Like there's a lot of belief that the vehicles that are posted at the top are going to get more traction than the vehicles several pages deep, but it's actually the opposite, right? So basically what you're saying is if you're under that belief is that a consumer would be attracted to any vehicle, like they don't have a preference on your make or model or even color, and that the key to selling more cars is just to have your vehicles listed on the top. And maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago on Craigslist that was effective, but it's not the case anymore. So having listings that are search relevant to Craigslist and that can be found on top of your competitors using the Craigslist search is 10 times more valuable and effective than having a bigger budget and posting all your vehicles every day so you're on top of Craigslist.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's the observation we came to see as well. If I'm a dealer, what percentage of my overall digital ad buy should be Craigslist?
Difficult to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's every dealership's different. So if you're a small dealership, independent, and you've only got 40 units of pre-owned, maybe more of your living is going to be made off of Craigslist, so you want to allocate more of your budget percentage to that platform. One, it's much more affordable than some of your other channels. But listen, if you're a franchise, if you're a large group dealer and you've got an allocated marketing budget for TV, radio, print, digital, pay-per-click, the percentage that you need for Craigslist would be a much smaller percentage because Craigslist is it's an affordable market for all players. So instead of like picking a target number on a percentage, what I suggest to dealers is allocate a budget up front. Let's say $1,000. Run that $1,000 for a month, see how many units you sell, and calculate the ROI. If the numbers are making sense and we don't need to improve the campaigns or tweak the templates or the call to actions, then we put the foot on the gas and we up the budget and we calculate the ROI the next month.
Are you the number one?
So to answer your,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Andrew.
what's that?
No, go ahead.
So to answer your question, there isn't, I wouldn't ever suggest that Craigslist needs a percentage of the budget, but what I would suggest, and it depends again on how much inventory they have in how many units of inventory they have, you allocate a budget based on that, run a test for the first month, measure your performance, and adjust accordingly.
Question comes to mind, and I'm just wondering, with all of the different vendors that dealers use, have you been able to deduce whether or not you're the number one provider of internet leads for any of your clients? I would assume that you would be, even perhaps some of the smaller dealers, some of the smaller used car dealers. What's your answer to that?
Well, here's what's funny, and I've probably worked with 1,000 dealers on Craigslist in my career, and there are some dealers with 50 to 60 units of inventory, and their only lead source is Craigslist. Like they're selling all of their units off of Craigslist with 50 or 60 units. And then I've talked to franchise dealers with a couple hundred units of inventory, and their experience is they're lucky to sell 1 unit a month.
Explain.
So the takeaway is clear, right? The takeaway is clear. Yeah. If you tried Craigslist and it doesn't work, it's not because Craigslist doesn't work. It means you're doing it very ineffectively.
You're doing it wrong.
So and let me just pick up on that point. I mean,
yeah.
We have a lot of relationships with dealers across the country, both franchise and independent, and they've given us feedback that, being on our program, I wouldn't say that we're the number one source of internet leads, but we're in the top 2 or 3 consistently. And it's not just, phone calls, it's calls, text messages, form fills, credit applications, you name it. And the other feedback that I'd like to give is Craigslist is a great vehicle to generate in-house financing leads. So not just selling the car, but also financing it to the dealership. Mm-hmm. And that helps the bottom line, for every dealership that we work with.
Yeah, this is Jaideep. We had a large partner of us just come back to us and say over 95% of the cars that they sold through our Craigslist program was financed internally. So that significantly boosted their ROI for the solution.
Do you partner with finance companies?
No, we do not. We do not directly partner with finance companies. So that would be the dealership having their own partnerships with finance companies.
Yeah. Let me ask you who your biggest competitors are.
But that's
Go ahead, Andrew.
Right on that topic, that's one of the key advantages of Craigslist in general, which a lot of people miss. Because what Craigslist does when you get to the Craigslist site and you pick automotive, the first screen you see is you have to make a choice. Do you want to buy for sale by owner or by a dealer? So and we can only push our inventory to that category by dealer. So the first thing we learn about that consumer is he likely needs financing, because if he had $20,000 of cash in his pocket, he probably wouldn't go to a dealer. He probably wouldn't have clicked the dealer. So the market's segmented for the finance option, which can be leveraged by sophisticated dealers, or at least if you're semi-astute on your Craigslist platform, mm-hmm. which, if you look at the Craigslist dealers, 50% of them are missing that boat. So the consumer is going to need financing, which is probably a reason he's picked by dealer, or he's in a vehicle that he wants to get out of and he can't trade out of it, doesn't want to sell them himself, so he needs another service that a dealer can offer, which is a trade-in. So that's 2 ways that you can leverage that Craigslist traffic to improve your results, is taking advantage of the finance opportunity with that consumer and the trade-ins.
Yeah, especially now, I think with the feds raising the interest rates, the consumer is going to need a lot more help from the dealer or from other entities that do auto financing, especially subprime stuff. Who are your biggest competitors and what sets you apart from them? I hesitate to ask you to identify your competitors.
I think it's no secret that there are a lot of companies out there that offer a service to post a car on Craigslist. There's too many to name, right? And there's inventory management systems that are like, oh, hey, we have a Craigslist tool, just copy paste, and we'll post it on Craigslist. But what we found is that if you're just a machine gun and posting on Craigslist, you're going to be wasting your money. On the other side of it, we have some dealerships that they have a person that does it for them manually, and they don't get all the features that we get with the reporting, the tracking, and updating of the ads. It's just like, why pay someone a full-time job to manage all your listings? It's crazy. So, there's too many names to name, but everyone who's tried us looks at our platform and says, hey, this is the number one platform and service in the market, and that's why our churn is so low.
So let's talk about your pricing packages, and if you could throw out a great case study or two, convince a few people out there in podcast, quickcast land why they should use you. What do you have going on over there?
So I'll take that one. This is Nima. So our pricing is going to be flexible for every sort of situation. We know that a franchise dealer with 300 units of pre-owned, they're going to have a much larger budget than, say, a single rooftop with just 30 units. So we work with dealerships of all shapes and sizes. We work with dealer groups. We work with large online national retailers, and we work with them closely to see what their results are. So, I don't want to necessarily say, hey, here's our pricing package. We want to create a situation that works for each of our customers. We don't just want to offer a cookie-cutter solution across the board. So I think that we can work, like I said, we work with small independents, we work with large multi-rooftop dealer groups. We can add value and make it worth everyone's worthwhile. So they just need to reach out to us, and we can show that to them.
Yeah, and I think one other thing to add there, we have quite a few different options within our package. Craigslist is just one of them. So in our pricing package, we can customize to exactly what a dealership needs in order to market their inventory in the best possible way. There's some channels that work in some regions versus other regions, and we can customize our package based on the dealership's needs.
Okay, this next question is kind of a jump ball. I'm going to take you out of your safety net, or out of your safety zone, I should say. The year is 2025. Where do you see the used car industry when autonomous, PHEV, HEV and EV cars are proliferating and the combustion engine is all but finished? When people are advertising on Craigslist for combustion engine vehicles and really nobody's buying them anymore?
This is Jaideep. So maybe I can try to answer that. I don't see the used car industry changing, actually, because whether you're buying a combustible engine car or you're buying a PHEV or HEV car, those cars that if I buy them new, I have to sell it sometime in the future. So the used car industry stays as it is. So the only thing that you see transitioning is the number of combustible engine cars being sold versus, let's say, electric or hybrid cars being sold. So I don't think that's going to affect the used car industry. One thing that could potentially affect the used car industry is the car sharing aspect of things. If people stop buying cars and just driving around in using one of the applications like Uber or Lyft, that could definitely have an impact. But I think PHEV, HEV, or any of those cars probably won't change the used car industry. At least that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
Andrew, what are your thoughts?
Well, as far as selling them, the vehicles are still going to have to be found online. So that whoever's selling the vehicle is going to have to market them. But, heck, I think there's going to be an app and you're going to find it and you're going to click a button and the car will drive itself to your house. And if you like it, you can go back and click a few buttons and buy it. If you don't, you'll probably click something and it's going to drive away and go back to wherever it came from.
2025, huh?
Yeah, it's going to, there's too much money being thrown at these autonomous vehicles and too many players. I see it getting here a lot sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, that was the team. That was the team from TAP Classifieds, Jaideep, Nima, and Andrew. Guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great week.
My pleasure.
We'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.